Hello there, Andy Saunders.
Hello, how are you?
Off of that there Quids in down on prom. How are
Trying
you?
our best, yeah. Not bad at all, we're going well.
You're a very busy man.
We're trying our best, trying to keep the music going.
You are. Do you know what? Between you and Chris Carr, who we're going to come to in just a moment, there's a selection of people on the Isle of Man who are essentially keeping the live music scene going, and especially when it comes to original music, because it is still a bit tricky, isn't it, to find venues sometimes for sort of some of the more sort of quirky original music.
Yeah, it is difficult. Luckily, there are places still around. You've got ourselves, obviously Carl up at the Mitre. I think the Riddler are planning to get the new Riddler down in Port Erin, is trying to do that as well. So we're out there trying for you, and get in touch if you want to play your music in front of people.
Excellent. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
With me, you can hit me up on Facebook, email, anything. Everybody can find Quids in somewhere.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Just come down and have a word with him. You had post-war stories last night.
Absolutely unbelievable. And Stevie Nash on as well, just before them doing some. So they're all brilliant. It took the roof off post-war. New material, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't heard them, make sure you have a good listen to proper original Manx music.
Do you know what? And I would say they're not like anything else on the island, and they're not. But then actually, there's several different bands that are not like anything else on the island, because it seems at the minute that the original scene crosses so many genres, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's out there, and that's what we're doing with the band battle and so on. They all are really pushed into original music in the band battle as well. So.
And I'm so excited because, ladies and gentlemen, in case you just tuned in, shortly I might be putting my hand in a black bag and taking out a name of a band because we are going to reveal the lineup of the final of the Quids in 2020 band battle, which is happening next week, isn't it?
Yes, Friday night.
Oh, so excited. So we'll come to that in a few moments, but we're also joined by Chris Carr. Hello, Chris Carr. How are you?
Hi, good evening, Christy, and thank you for inviting us up again. It's always lovely to be here.
It's lovely to have you, and you, of course, have been a very busy man as well. You had all of those gigs on over the summer down in Port Erin, and actually it's quite interesting to have the two of you in together, because one of the things that both of you are very passionate about is raising awareness of mental health issues, and it's something we've talked to both of you about in the past, and it's something actually that you both link in with events and gigs and things. And of course, today being Mental Health Awareness Day, it's quite poignant that you're both here, and this is something that you're continuing to support, isn't it, Chris?
Oh, without a doubt. I have to say, from a Deep South perspective, every year we always designated a charity, but we've not ever touched on something so sensitive as mental health as we did this year. For whatever reason, it could be for the COVID-19 pandemic, but in the past, when we've put events on and we've said, look, it's for this charity or it's for that charity, it's all been well responded. But this one here, everybody had a story to tell. So it was a sensitive and it was really successful summer. Thank you.
And did you actually have people coming up and approaching you and talking to you?
We had some really sad stories, to be fair. Obviously, the bands were playing on the beach there, and we were going around with the buckets, and we were saying it was for the 6 designated charities that we picked, which we'll mention later on. But each and every person, and there were some really sad stories out there of they knew somebody, or it was personal, it was something that touched a nerve, and it really is something that needed highlighting, especially now.
And music is one of those things, isn't it, that not only brings people together, but it can give you an outlet. It can give you something
For sure.
just...
For sure, they run hand in hand. Music, and when you start saying things like mental health and whatnot, there's a correlation there that runs parallel with each other. And the bands, when you start talking to bands and artists saying, look, we're doing this for that, they're there straight away, and they're as good as gold.
And Andy, when you were here last time, you brought some beer mats with you, didn't you? Start the Conversation beer mats, which we have had around the studio. Mm-hmm. What's happening with that campaign?
Well, obviously, the Start Conversation campaign was due to kick off the week after we went into lockdown, so that was wonderful. In Douglas, it's in the reboot stage now. It's quite a difficult situation right now to go out there raising money, but we are going to do that. It's starting again now. It will run all through next year instead of this year, culminating with the big event in the villa. What we're doing right now at the minute is we are working in the background, and we're getting people on courses for mental health awareness, and not the mental health first aid course, because that's quite an extensive course, but for almost like a first responder sort of course. And there are people that we're organising, and we're hoping to get as many publicans or people from each pub to have training in this course, which is run through our Listen at the minute, so that there will be people in the community when people are struggling. There'll be people that know how to deal with crisis flare points and stuff like that.
And you talk about crisis flare points. I mean, it's something that is very much in our community and was before this pandemic, but even more so now because of everything that is going on. It's even more of an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very hard time for everybody this year, hasn't it? So, and we're just hoping that we can do as much as we can to make people aware that there are people out there that are willing to support them. Yeah.